Well, that accelerated quickly. It turns out that when you call for the death of Republican opponents and their children and have their mothers hold their dying children's babies because you shot them in the head as the Democrat AG candidate, it doesn't look good on the Democrats. Who would have thought? Yeah, guys, we're about to have some fun, and I'm about to show you what's really going on under the surface, because this is the thing that no one's talking about, and you're about to find out right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. If you want to save this country, leave it to the next generation better than we found it, and honest to goodness, have some fun while we do it. Hit that like button and do all the things. You can follow me, if you'd like, on X, at Braden LOA, but let's dive in. I do not want to bury the lead on this, because this is important stuff. And per usual, if you're new here, everything's always linked in the description box below. I always bring the receipts. I'm about to show you something that is massively important for you to understand the fight for our country. When I say the Democrats can't find support in a bucket, it's because they can't find support in a bucket. So they're resorting to the extremism, the violent rhetoric, the extravagant language and flamboyant language of threat and democracy and violence, all these things, fascist, Nazism. They are against the wall. They are at the edge of the cliff of irrelevance, and they are trying to make the loudest noise possible to get back from that. They're not going to. Listen to this. This is why. All right, this is CNN destroying their dreams from on high, or at least not knowing they're going to. Watch this. This is key. This is Trump doing what he promised. CNN, listen.
Is Trump doing what he promised in the 2024 campaign? Yes, 52%. The majority of Americans say that Donald Trump is doing what he promised, compared to 48% who said no. So what essentially is going on here is the voters expected all of this from Donald Trump. The majority did, and that is why his favorable rating, simply put, has not really moved all that much compared to where it was a year ago. Trump is basically doing what the American people thought that he was going to do. Indeed, if you look at the numbers, Trump has basically the steadiest favorable rating this much through a presidency of any president on record, and it's basically where he was a year ago, good enough to get him reelected. So, is Trump doing...
All right, so sorry if you just saw me bash my elbow in the table. Hope you enjoyed that little moment. This is the underlying point. The Democrats have ramped up the volume. Actually, you know what? Come here. They've ramped up the volume. They've ramped up the rhetoric. They've ramped up the emotion. They've ramped up the riots. They've ramped up the attacks. They've ramped up all this crap. It's not doing anything because the American population wanted this to happen. This is why they don't understand the Democrat Party. One of the people that I grew up listening to is Rush Limbaugh. I am a Rush baby. My mom had it on when I was in the car the whole time. And you want to know one thing that's really interesting about something that's very reminiscent of this whole thing? The left is doing that thing, and guys, let me hear you in the comments on this one, that when you explain something to your wife and it's not landing, the problem's on her for not understanding it rather than for you explaining it or the idea itself. The problem is clearly you're not hearing what I'm saying. Oh, this is going to go well. That's exactly what's happening in the American population right now with the Democrats, which is why you have the left completely co-opting the Democrat Party and resulting to extreme language, extreme actions, and the far violent left has infiltrated the Democrats, which is where the tie-in for the Attorney General comes in. Watch this. Even CNN is throwing them under the bus, being like, nah, this is not ideal. And other Democrats, also not ideal. This stinks and shows everybody for who they are. Because if they don't say anything, silence is violence, guys. Remember, Democrats told us that. Watch this.
And there have only been more and more comments and criticisms. Morning Joe, of all people, saying he should probably get out of the race.
Yeah.
Tough position.
It really is a tough position for Democrats, too. I mean, Democrats are, you have Mark Warner, Abigail Spanberger saying that they were to criticize it, but they haven't called on him to drop out.
Uh-oh! CNN caught up. Here's the whole point. This is going to reflect on Democrats more than on this psychopathic homicidal maniac running for AG in Virginia. If you haven't seen the text, bear with me in this video. I'm going to show you an ad campaign with all of it. But this is the whole point. These are the exact same people. Again, come here. We're going to have a lot of conversations this time. In the Senate, Cory Booker sits there and screams that silence is complicity, silence is violence. These are all the little one-liners that rhyme, so the Democrats say them all the time. Well, all of a sudden, it's perfectly fine for an attorney general candidate in the state of Virginia to wish assassination on Republicans and their children and have the mother witness their children dying in her arms so she changes political ideology. Democrats aren't saying shit. What? This is the ultimate point. If you want to tell me the left is not violent, if you want to say that it's extreme to say that the left would be considered or observably violent with all the evidence in front of you, and then you have a Democrat candidate for Attorney General in Virginia openly say what he said about children, and the leading Democrats nationally are mums the word on it, his running mate for a gubernatorial race in Virginia mums the word, this is going to not only affect the Virginia race, and they know it, this is going to affect everything Democrat national, because they're not coming out against it. They have been co-opted by the far insane left. Let's keep going. Again, let me know if I'm landing the plane in the comments. I got even more for you. I showed you this yesterday. Morning Joe saying he should drop out. Watch this.
Coming up, an attorney general candidate in Virginia is apologizing for his texts about a state lawmaker. We'll go through what the messages said.
He should probably be forced to withdraw from the race, and probably is doing a lot there.
All right, Morning Joe.
He should probably drop out from the race from MSNBC. CNN is asking what's going on. Why are Democrats real quiet? How about a Democrat on Fox News? Jessica Tarlov? Whatever, doesn't matter. Tarlov, yeah.
Well, we have a Democrat right here.
Oh, lucky me. Look at that.
Where are you on this? Should he resign?
Well, it wouldn't be resign. He should step down, and I think that he should. I think those texts are completely disqualifying. When I first saw them, I thought, like, oh, is Stephen Miller having a fever dream? And then I was like, no, this is real, that this happened. And I think that it reflects poorly on him as a human being, but also as an elected official and potentially, you know, the most powerful law enforcement official in Virginia. Now, we can all say that, but it doesn't change the fact that early voting has already started and his name is on the ballot.
And ding, 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 come here again. That's why they're really uncomfortable. CNN is saying, Democrats, why the hell aren't you saying anything? MSNBC says you should probably resign, or you should probably withdraw from the race. But Democrats are real quiet on it, including the governor candidate in Virginia, hoping this last month isn't going to matter. Yeah, okay. The election's in November. And then now you get the Fox News host, the token Democrat, saying, yeah, this is pretty much disqualifying. At what point, Democrats, is it disqualifying to wish violence on children and then still claim to be the party of morality? Again, I would like to bring you to the whole point, the whole thesis. I'm going in this direction for the next 3 years because it's that obvious, well, at least to me. Sorry. You're literally talking about everyone going, yeah, that's why his poll numbers aren't moving at all. Because the Democrats are doing what they're doing, and it's only exacerbating the problem. Let me get over here to the other part to this. Where'd it go? This is another Fox News host that says the same thing, but this time we've got candidate Abigail Spanberger. This woman right here, you know, the one hugging the psychopath. Yeah, watch this.
In terms of what Abigail Spanberger has said, she said the following, quote, I made clear to Jay that he must fully take responsibility for his words. What I've also made clear is that as a candidate and the next governor of our Commonwealth, I will always condemn violent language in our politics. But she didn't say get the you-know-what out of the race.
That's a whole lot of saying a lot of words to say absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And I think Jay Jones, I don't just think he should drop out of the race. I think he needs a psych evaluation because someone who wants to see their political opponent's children die has some very scary brain rot. And this has shifted from being just about Jay Jones to, as you said and as Megan said, an indictment of every Democrat who refuses to call on him to drop out. Because if you refuse to call him to drop out and refuse to even drop your endorsement, you are endorsing what he has said. And I think this is going to hound Democrats in Virginia all the way through November.
Yeah.
It's not only going to hound Democrats in November in Virginia, it's going to hound Democrats forever because one of their sitting AG candidates just literally did these things. This is the whole point. Democrats have said nothing. This should be a very knee-jerk, easy, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Why don't you get out of the race? But the Virginia governor candidate says, well, he should be accountable for his language, but we should still be elected. Read between the lines. All right, and now finally, a little treat. I wasn't going to do it, but now I'm going to do it. This is how Republicans are handling it in Virginia. Again, the campaign ads write themselves.
The Washington Post confirms Jay Jones sent texts that imagined shooting the Republican Speaker of the House. Jay Jones wished the Speaker's wife could watch her own child die in her arms. It's so disgusting. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Jay Jones confirmed that he hoped an opponent's children could die to advance his political agenda. Can you trust Jay Jones to protect your children?
I'm Jason Yares, candidate for Attorney General. I sponsor this ad.
Ding dong. Here comes the Pied Piper, because you're about to pay that mofo. But that's what I've got for you guys. We're going to see a whole lot more of this, because I hope this guy never sees the light of any kind of power. But you never know. It is Virginia. That's what I've got for you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Later.